Welcome to Our Inner Wisdom. I'm your host, Charlie Lundholm. We are in some intense times right now, and we could all use help finding some balance and clarity. To help with that, I'll be sharing channeled messages, interviews, and discussions on a variety of topics designed to help you feel more grounded, calm, and connected to your source. I thank you so much for being here today. Now let's go tap into our inner wisdom. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I was doing a channeling session the other day with a friend of mine, and we were discussing all of the increased hatred and violence going on in our world still, again. And we were kind of having a question as to what can we do about it on the energetic side. And usually their answer is, to send light, to send love, which they were saying is still perfectly fine. But they had a little bit of a different view on it this time, and they were talking about the rising of the feminine energy. So they said, that we keep hearing it's going to be the women that change the world. And I hear you, ladies. My little hackles get raised, and sometimes I think, oh, yeah, okay. One more thing for women to do. However, they were saying it's the power of the feminine that will heal the world, and that because women embody the majority of that feminine energy is why it's going to be women who heal the world. And it's the rising of the feminine so that it has a voice, so that it can be in harmony with the masculine. And this rising of the feminine is not just in women, it's also in men, so that each person has this balance of feminine energy and masculine energy. The powerful feminine, which is creative, which is nurturing, which is loving and kind, and very powerful. Don't let that kind of softer things, the nicer aspects, fool you into thinking that it is not powerful. Just look at some of the spiritual traditions that have very wrathful feminine beings who have their counterpart, which is all about compassion. So it's the balanced feminine coming in with the balanced masculine. So the feminine can come in with new ideas of how to do things differently. What is to the highest good of all? Where can loving kindness and compassion come in to heal the world and shift things and make things change? Then you have the balanced masculine energy that comes in and says, okay, let's do it. So you have this beautiful combination of incredible ideas and ways to make it happen. So it's creativity and action together in balance. And that is what is going to make things change. And it's going to have to be in those areas where people are living with violence and suffering, and they are the ones that have to stand up and say enough. Not that everyone else can't also stand up and say enough. This is wrong. We've had it. We don't choose to live this way anymore, but they have to be part of it. And we can support them by sending light and love, and also with our intention of an energy that helps support the rising of the balanced and empowered feminine so that it has a voice, along with the balanced, empowered masculine that gets things done. So that was their message a couple of weeks ago. And then this last week, there were some new guides. I hadn't channeled them before. They apparently are part of the shift. It sounds like all of us are getting some new guides, some new assistants, to help us navigate this shift and navigate the higher vibrational energies that are coming into our planet, that are coming into our own physical bodies. So, isn't that a nice thing? We have some new helpers. I love that. So, they started out by talking about the subject of manifestation, of creation, how we want things to be, how we are a part of this shift. And they wanted to discuss the shift because there's been much discussion about it, and they want to help us to understand the power of it. They were saying that this goes in line with the subject of timing and time and how long things take. So we as humans limit the time that things take to manifest. And part of that is for our own benefit. We don't get to see and experience every thought, every desire as an instant manifestation. Sometimes that's a good thing, right? Someone makes you mad on the freeway. You don't want those thoughts going through your head to actually manifest. But even though that thought energy still goes out into the field, into the universe, every single thought doesn't necessarily create one particular thing. However, the theme of your thoughts, the theme of your desires can all start to come together and create and manifest things on the physical plane. Whether it's the tiniest thing, say you need a paperclip, or something large like world peace. And you're probably familiar with the idea of what you give your energy to, what you give your thoughts to, what desires you have, is where energy goes to start to create that, to manifest that. It's part of your programming. What do I want to experience? Okay, then I'm going to start manifesting that. I'm going to start creating that. I'm going to start magnetizing to myself those experiences and people and situations that will help me have that experience through manifestation, through connection. So, why are we bringing all this up? It's because of the power of this shift and why we, as your new guides, are here. We are here because this is such a pivotal time for your planet, for every single person who lives upon your planet, and for how your planet is positioned within its connection with the universe. Your Earth is shifting in a big, big way. She's finding her balance and restoring it, despite what people do to her. She's massive. She's powerful. She's healing. And she's shifting. And she has a deep inner knowledge and wisdom of healing. And each person has it as well. So, this pivotal time in the history of your Earth and all the people is a very powerful time. It's a powerful time to really anchor in the light, to transform once and for all those lower vibrational energies, the pettiness and meanness, the me, mine mentality, the you are different, therefore I don't like you mentality. All of that is so based in this old programming. We want to transmit to you the importance of the shift, the power of the shift, and the importance of getting it done. There really isn't a going back at this point. A few years ago, there was a pivotal point, and the question was whether or not humans on Earth were going to be able to make this shift a reality. You did it. So yes, this shift is a reality. Light is flooding in at a rate that has never been seen before, and it's shaking stuff up in people. Right now, fear is washing over everyone. Fear has always been a powerful fuel source for those who not only dwell in the lower vibrations, but also gain power from those energies. Fear and instability. Humans like stability. Instability throws them into fear, into panic and anxiety, and that throws them into survival mode, which throws them more into the me, mine mentality. And nobody wants to be in survival mode. It's not an energy that's even supported in the new energy because the shift is about abundance for all. Now, they don't like using the word abundance because it has this connotation of material things, but they didn't know a different word to use. So they went with it. So the new energy is that there is abundance for all. There's enough for everybody to cohabitate and share and prosper and grow. It just is. No one gets more than anybody else. No one's is better than anybody else's. It just is. There's a level playing ground, an evenness. There's no hierarchy. And those who crave power are very fearful of that because they feel like they're losing their identity. So there is a massive scrambling in those who hold power or those who view themselves as holding power. And aren't we seeing that in our political system? But this isn't just in politics or world leaders. It's also seen in our relationships, in our workplaces. Anytime there is a sense of authority, anyone who views themselves in a position of power is being poked right now. Using fear to manipulate or control people isn't supported in the new energy. It's being replaced with loving kindness. You can witness it on a daily basis. You can witness the kindness, the generosity, the love, the sharing between people. We see it all the time. So where are we going with this? We're going to go back to our statement of this is a powerful time. It's a pivotal time to get it right and to move it forward at a pace that allows a sidestepping of the muck, of the scrambling, of the suffering. There doesn't need to be this amount of suffering and angst and anger and fear. So what to do about it? Utilizing a different way of sending energy, a different way of helping. Sending in and allowing the feminine energy to rise, allowing the masculine and the feminine to be in a balanced state. That's all part of it. It's also allowing a shift within your own being to really understand the power, the powerfulness of this shift, that yes, it can happen. So allowing your own personal limitation, your own limiting valve, if you will, to open up, to play with it. What would happen if you just fully jumped in and said, okay, we can change stuff in a day. We can change it in a week. We can infuse this world with light. We can infuse those who view themselves as being in power with such light, with such balancing light that connects them to their heart, that allows them to see that the best way to help is to help all, to allow the feminine within them to rise and have a voice and be in harmony and balance with their masculine, allowing their masculine to rise and have a voice in perfect balance with the feminine, so that every single being is in balance, is in connection to their heart, is in connection to their soul self, is in connection with their universal source energy, is in connection with the earth. It's powerful. The energy that is being focused on your earth and the light that is flooding down upon your earth supports this. So we ask that you play with this concept of removing your limiters, whatever those limiters are, whether they're your words, your beliefs, your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, your programming. Start to be conscious of where you place limitation on your energy and the energy that you share with the world. What are your thoughts? What are your predominant thoughts? Your predominant energy gets shared with the world. Is it, of course that can happen? Or is it, that can't happen? Or is it somewhere in between? Like, it can happen, but it's going to take a long time. See where your limiters are. What are they? Where do they hang out? Where are they stored in your body? Then you get to choose. Do you want to release them? Do you want to open those valves? And the answer might not always be yes. There might be times where you want things to just percolate a little bit. You want to make sure that something is getting the attention it needs or learning from the experience of it before it shifts into light. That might be something that comes up. With all this muck, with everything that you see as chaos and war and negativity, unkindness, there are massive lessons being learned. And as things accelerate, as the lessons accelerate, it doesn't always look pretty, based in the old ways. It makes it an even more powerful time to start infusing the light. Whether you put it in a drop at a time or you fully blast it with a fire hose, it's up to you. Sometimes a fire hose of light isn't the best solution. Sometimes people need to come to a place of connection with their soul self so they don't fight the shift as much. They have an understanding of what the shift is about because they get it at their core. They've had a little more time to figure it out. More and more people are connecting in with their soul selves, even when they don't recognize it. It's one of the things that's causing a lot of people to have some confusion because they have this inner knowing that things are shifting, that they need to be done differently, that they themselves need to do things differently. So they have this inner energy, this desire, this pulling, and they're drawn to doing something different, but they don't necessarily understand it. So they have a foot in both realms, the old and the new, kind of the muck and the light. And the old ways and the muck is familiar. They understand that. So that fear of the unknown, the fear of just surrendering to the light, to their soul self, to their journey, to who they are at their core, it can produce a lot of anxiety and discontent. So part of the shift is to help people understand what this is about, what is happening, why it's happening, giving them a glimpse of how things look on the other side of the muck, helping people to release those veils so that they can see where the light is already anchored and what that means, where they see the connection, the kindness, the love, the light, those things that people take for granted. A smile from a stranger, someone holding the door for you. Those are all acts of kindness. Those are all acts that are love-based, but we don't give them the attention. We give the attention to the muck. So there's a lot going on within a lot of people. And there are a lot of people who are just dropping the veil left and right as your earth is infused with this very supportive light to do just that. Drop the veils. Open your eyes. Remember who you are. Connect in with your soul. Connect in with your source. Connect in with the earth. Connect in with the universe. To be light. Millions of people are in this process. And the more people that are shifting, the more supported that energy is on your earth, the more anchored in it is so that it isn't so temporary. Some people jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out. It needs to be anchored in so it becomes this is so instead of, well, this is how it could be. This is so, and it can be now. Shifts can happen very quickly. You've experienced it within your own lives. You've seen it externally, and you've felt it internally. Imagine a time where you were feeling kind of off. If you sit down, you go into a quiet space, maybe you just take a few breaths. Maybe you go into meditation or connect into your source energy, and you feel it shift. You come out feeling better, you feel lighter, you feel more expansive. You've just shifted those lower vibrations, and it happened in an instant. And that can happen globally. Now, we know this is kind of a basic example, but it's all about energy. It's all about energy. And energy is dynamic. It changes from a single thought. So if energy can change by one person's thoughts, imagine what happens when millions of people change their thinking. Billions of people, everyone on your planet. Everyone on your planet coming from their heart, from their soul selves, connected to the universe, connected to the earth. That's where we're going. That's the end goal of the shift. Every single person. And it's happening faster than you know. It may not always show up the way you think because everybody has their own journey. They have their own way of experiencing the light, sharing the light, what they do with the light, how they connect in with their spirit, what they do when they remember who they are at their core. Now, some people go out and create huge positive changes for your earth. Other people withdraw. They go inside and discover how they can best help working with the energetics. Or maybe just them connecting into their self, their core self, is all they need to do to be part of the shift. Every soul has its own journey. Everyone still has their own individual ways that they will experience it, shift with it, and share it. So just because you may be looking at a person and they don't look like your version of a shifted individual, doesn't mean they're not. And we tell you this so that you don't lose hope. Sometimes it's hard when you think nothing's changing or things are changing for the worse. And when you see someone who you view as doing something negative, it doesn't mean that they necessarily are. It could be that they're in the midst of a shift, or they're doing something that's going to help a whole group of other people shift, to stand up, to say enough. And that's part of what's going on in your political system right now. There are those who are stirring things up, shaking things up with the intention, the energetic intention of empowering people to stand up and say enough, to say we are choosing something different. But it looks like muck. So muck sometimes isn't what you think. However, things can happen a lot faster in the light. So we invite you to continue to send the light, send the love, anchor the new energy, and to really stand in it fully yourselves. Because again, the limiters are on, and that's okay. Everything at the pace that is comfortable for you. But try opening the valve a little bit. Get even a little more of the new energy. See how that manifests in your life. What does it look like? What does it feel like? You can always turn it back down. What changes can you facilitate when you are infused fully with the new energy? What part of the shift can you be of most benefit to when you're anchored fully in the now and in the new? It's all very powerful. So we want to share this with you so that you do understand that the shift is happening. It's big, it's powerful, it's in motion, and it's at a pivotal time. And the pivotal part being that things can be shifted quicker and easier during this time. So focusing on the light, focusing on that balanced feminine and masculine, where both have an equal voice, where both support one another. The energy of creativity, nurturing, kindness, in harmony with the energy of action and doing, so that the ideas that can manifest kindness and collaboration don't just stay in someone's mind, but they are voiced. They are brought up where the feminine can say, I've got an idea to help. And the masculine can say, okay, let's get it done. Oneness, energy, oneness. When creativity and action come together, things happen. And when they are based in loving kindness, they benefit all. Play with the energy, have fun with the energy. See where you limit it within your life and how you share it, how you work globally with it, how you work with it personally. Play with being fully open for a bit and acknowledge the light, acknowledge the kindness, acknowledge the love that you do see and experience. Give that the fuel. Feed that, not the negativity, not the meanness. Every time you hear about the muck and the lower vibrational energies, instantly send it love, send it light, send it the rising feminine and balanced masculine. Instantly. Don't let it throw you off kilter because you understand it's part of the shift and things are speeding up. Things can happen faster. So light it up, light it up, light it up. Every time you read even one sentence about something that's going on in your world that's causing suffering, light it up. That's your response. Light it up, shift it, change it. It doesn't have to continue to be just because that's how it has been. How it has been is what's shifting, is what's changing, because how it has not been to the highest good of all, has not been to the highest good of your planet, and therefore has not been to the highest good of the universe. Send the light through the web of interconnectedness via the electromagnetic field around the earth, because everything that's happening in areas of violence and suffering, it's not just happening there. It's affecting or having an effect all over the planet to everybody who's thinking about it. So if you send the energy through the web, then it goes out to everybody who needs it. And by sending it that way, then the light, that energy, is also helping to balance the shock, the thoughts, the anger from others who were putting that out into the web. And so loving kindness energy that's infusing that web of interconnectedness is very powerful. Very, very powerful. And when we do that, it's not just you doing that. You are connected with all of the other beings who are joined together, sending the light. And this bumps up its power even more. So we're grateful to be here during this time with you, guiding you and helping you to understand the shift even more, guiding you to experience more and more, helping you to experience more and more of your soul self, and connected firmly to this new energy. And we're here for you. Please call on us. That's why we're here. You're not here by yourself needing to do things solo. This is a time of collaboration and coming together. You are loved deeply by the universe, admired by the universe, and the universe is showering great gratitude upon you. You are loved. And with that, they closed. So interesting messages coming through. And I liked the fact that every time we read one sentence or we are listening to the news or we hear someone talking about what's going on, anything that causes a reaction within us that is one of anger or shock or disbelief, any lower vibrational energy reactions, that in that instant we can send it love. We can attach that supportive feminine energy in with that light. All we have to do is just say, okay, you know what? I just heard about this happening somewhere in the world, and I am choosing to send love and light to that area. Or, as they were saying, send the love through the web of interconnectedness. And that happens just with our thoughts. Another thing about their message that I really liked is that this gives us something to do for those times where we're feeling hopeless, helpless, how can I help? What can I do? Or those times where we feel, well, what can one person do? I can't possibly make any kind of change. Well, yes, we can. And I really like that because we're compassionate beings, majority of us. I think all of us have that potential. And we want to help. We want to be doing something to help those who are suffering. And this is a way to do that. When we hear something negative going on, we instantly shift it. We instantly shift it. We instantly shift it. And I did this the other day, and it was pretty powerful. It felt powerful. It felt nice to be doing something instead of going into the, oh my gosh, what are we doing? Oh, this is horrible. Instead, I was able to put positive energy out into the world instead of more fear and anger. And we definitely need more love, more positive, holding that vision of how we know our world can be. I mean, the potential of this is huge if we can figure it out and do it. And so part of it is just being conscious and choosing in that moment of, okay, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of anger and fear. Instead, I'm going to shift that and I am going to feed that thread of loving kindness because that's got power to it. The energy behind that will go where it needs to go. And with enough of us doing that, things will change. Things will shift. Those who are perpetuating this violence will shift. They just have to because the energy is coming into balance. So don't lose hope. I know it's hard on some days, and that's okay. We are human. It's okay that there are those days we just want to bang our head against the wall and wonder, are we ever going to get it? Are we ever going to get this? But we are. That's one of the beautiful messages that they do give us many times during channeling is that we are getting it. We are doing it. We're moving in the right direction. So see where the light is already anchored in your life. See where those miracles are. See the smiles. Soak in the love that is around you. See the kindness between people. Give yourself pats on the back for your own kindness, your own lovingness, your own light. We've got this, and we're supported, and we have new guides. Gotta love that. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to speaking with you next time. Thank you for listening. For more inspiration or to find out more about my work and upcoming classes, please visit ourinnerwisdom.com. And for beautiful crystals and minerals, please visit our sister site at earthgallery.com. Until next time, keep tapping in to your own inner wisdom.